Hello again, everyone. Welcome to Washington Gun Law TV. I am Washington Gun Law President William Kirk. Thanks for joining us. Hey, things must really be heating up in Illinois because my phone is suddenly inundated with a lot of you folks out there in Illinois having a lot of questions about what is happening with this assault weapon ban, gun registration, everything that needs to be done under the Protect Illinois Communities Act by the end of this calendar year. What I have done is I have kind of gathered together some of the most common questions, the ones that I'm getting quite routinely. I am going to give you the answer directly from the horse's mouth today and hopefully give you guys some options as to what you can do if you want to try to comply with this law. So today, let's spend a few minutes, let's slow it down, take a couple of deep breaths, and let's talk about time is running out, Illinois. What can you do? Okay, so earlier today I was talking with an Illinois resident, Larry W. We had a nice about 30-minute conversation. He had a lot of really intelligent questions about what he could do with his firearms collection in anticipation of what's about to happen to everyone in Illinois come January 1st. We then started going through some of the frequently asked questions on the Illinois State Police Department's website, and as I began to inventory some of the questions there, plus some of the other questions that I've been fielding, I realized that, hey, there's a lot of valuable information that could apply to many of you, so hopefully this will be helpful to you. Now, a caveat about what I'm about to talk about. Before all you keyboard warriors, you know the ones, you get on this thing right away and you start banging away like, I'm not gonna comply. Screw you, Kirk, I'm not doing this. Okay, hey, that's fine. I'm not telling anybody that you need to comply with this law. Okay, Washington Gun Law here has always been about not telling you all what to think or how to think, but just giving you the stuff to think about. So when I talk about the law bolt, or when I talk about some of the other things I'm going to talk about today, am I telling you that this is what you need to do? No. I'm explaining all of the various options that you may have. You're all big boys and big girls. You can figure this out for yourself. My job is to educate you so that you're making informed decisions. So one of the most common questions that I'm getting right now is, how about if I just move all my scary assault weapons out of state? Do I need to register them? Well, believe it or not, the Illinois State Police Department has answered that question as follows. No, if you do not keep your firearms within the state of Illinois, then no endorsement affidavit is required. Now, just out of curiosity, I happened to get onto Google Maps, call a bunch of storage unit places in neighborhoods just outside the state of Illinois, and shockingly, there has been a huge influx of Illinois residents purchasing or renting storage units out of state. I wonder why. Okay, another frequently asked question, are all 50 caliber rounds regulated by PICA? The answer is actually no, only certain caliber rounds, such as, no, only 50 BMG caliber cartridges are regulated. For additional information, please refer to 720 ILCS 524-19A5. Okay, another question is, are lower receivers regulated by PICA? Yes, they are. If you have lower receivers, are you required by law to register them? Technically, yes, you are. Now, many of you have been confused about firearms with forestocks compared to firearms with barrel shrouds. And then there is the question of which one do I need to register? And my God, how broad is this? The Illinois State Police Department, as it relates to, do I have to register a firearm if it has a forestock, not a barrel shroud, a forestock? This is how the Illinois State Police has responded to that. No, a shroud is not an integral component of the stock, but rather a separate piece. For example, the wooden forestock on a base model Ruger 1022 does not constitute a shroud. Other examples of forestocks not constituting shrouds would be the base model M1 carbine, the M1 Garand, and Savage model 850, assuming they have no other features regulated by PICA and or have not been modified to include any regulated features or attachments. Now, this is one which comes down to the accessories. Do I have to register all of my muzzle brakes? That actually depends. Is it a muzzle brake or a flash suppressor? Because when you really get technical here, yes, flash suppressors apparently need to be registered. Muzzle brakes, however, do not. This is how the Illinois State Police Department defines it. While both are barrel attachments, they serve different purposes. A flash suppressor is designed to reduce the muzzle flash of the firearm. On military firearms, this is to prevent distant opponents from seeing where someone may be shooting from. A muzzle brake directs the energy of the muzzle blast in a specified direction in order to reduce the felt recoil of the discharge of the firearm or to prevent the muzzle from jumping during shooting. Most muzzle brakes do nothing to reduce flash, and the specific one produced by Springfield has been ruled by ATF to not be a flash suppressor. And so when you take a look actually at the language in the Protect Illinois Community Act, they are talking about flash suppressors. They are not talking about muzzle brakes. Okay, now here's a real interesting thing, and this was subject of great debate after we did this video, which is if you take your semi-automatic rifle, or what in Illinois now is called the scary assault weapon, and you convert it to a bolt-action rifle, do you then have to register it? A lot of you believe that, yeah, you still do because you got all these other components on it, so you still have to register them anyways. Ha, that's not a workaround. Even though the statute specifically says it's for a semi-automatic centerfire rifle. So, the truth of the matter is that if you did convert your firearm into a bolt action using something such as the law bolt or other devices out there that could do it, yeah, you do not have to register that firearm even if it has all the scary attachments on it. The Illinois State Police Department specifically answered this question as follows. So long as the attachment is attached to the bolt, pump, lever, or slide action firearm, an endorsement affidavit is not required. If the attachment is removed from the bolt, pump, lever, or slide action firearm and meets the definition of an assault weapon attachment, then an endorsement affidavit would need to be completed for the assault weapon attachment. My God, do you realize just how stupid that is? Okay, you could have all sorts of assault weapon components that need to be registered, but since they're attached to a firearm, you don't need to register them. But if you take them off for replacement, for cleaning, for repairs, technically you would then have to register them. You can't make this stuff up. Now listen, I want to circle back on a couple of things here. Number one, moving your firearms out of state. Am I recommending you do that? No, I'm not recommending you do that. And candidly, if you take a look at a lot of these lease agreements with storage units, you're not supposed to be storing firearms there. But the biggest reason that I don't want you to do that is, isn't this exactly what your state government wants you to do? Don't they want you to take all of these firearms and get them out of the state? Don't they want to disarm you, the lawful and responsible gun-owning Illinois resident? And then there's other people out there, such as Rob Beavis, who are giving you options with the law bolt to convert your firearm to a platform where it is no longer subject to this otherwise unconstitutional law. Now, am I suggesting that you run out right away and do business with Rob Beavis? No, that's a choice that you can make for yourself. But does it provide you with an option on how to comply with this law without having to register the firearm? Now, I recognize that every week we do a video, and so we know what most of you are doing, and that is absolutely nothing. You are throwing a gigantic middle finger at this law, and kudos to all of you. But I am beginning to get a lot more phone calls, and I'm beginning to hear a lot more panicked voices, and I'm beginning to hear a lot more people who may have had second thoughts about just throwing a middle finger at the Illinois state government. I'm not going to tell you what to do, but I am going to tell you about all the things that you can do. Listen, if you got any other questions about this or anything else related to what's left of our Second Amendment rights, you guys should know how to get a hold of Washington gun law by now. If you don't, that's okay. That information, it's right down there in the description box. Now, in the meantime, let's everyone remember that part of being the lawful and responsible gun owner, like we talk about all the time, is to know what the law is in every situation, how it applies to you in any instance that you may find yourself. Until next time, thanks for watching. Stay safe.